Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going down a rabbit hole of
Mm.
internet lore.
Okay.
It's a leaked alien interrogation video.
Yeah, same.
Supposedly, it's connected to Project Blue Book.
Wow.
You know, the Air Force was investigating UFOs.
Right. Right back in the 50s and 60s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this video,
Yeah.
what's interesting about it is the intro screen. It's full of details that
Oh.
almost seem a little too perfect.
Yeah.
Like Project Blue Book's mentioned Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Mm-hmm.
It even names a specific intelligence agency.
Huh.
Like it's all right there. So it feels really authentic.
Yeah. I can see why that would lend itself to it.
Yeah, yeah. But then it gets a little strange.
Okay.
The date stamp on this thing says June 9th, 1964.
Mm-hmm.
But then the alien in the video mentions a nuclear war
Okay.
that happens in the next century.
So there's like a contradiction right there in
Yeah.
the timeline.
It's like someone put a clue in there.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh,
hey, pay attention to this.
Yeah. Almost like a deliberate anachronism.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And when you get past the initial shock
Yeah.
of that contradiction, it's the alien's answers that really draw you in.
Oh. Okay.
This isn't like some Hollywood alien, demanding to meet our leaders or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
This is something else entirely. This one,
Oh, wow.
it really drops some serious knowledge on
Yeah.
us about life, the universe, and humanity's future.
So where do we even begin with this?
Well, let's start with the alien itself.
Yeah.
It claims to be from Earth,
Okay.
but not from our present day Earth.
Right. From the future.
Yeah, it claims to be a descendant of humanity,
Oh, wow.
traveling back from the future to, quote,
Okay.
repair a spatial divergence.
Repair a spatial divergence. So that sounds like time travel to me.
Right. But what is this spatial divergence all about?
Well, think of it this way. Space-time is like a fabric. It can be warped
Right.
and folded.
Oh,
And what we think of as time travel might actually be more like navigating those folds in space-time,
I see.
taking shortcuts between points in time.
Okay, so instead of like a straight line through time, it's like a cosmic shortcut.
Yeah, precisely. And divergence, that implies that something went wrong,
Oh,
like a split in the timeline
okay.
that needs correcting.
That's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So we have a time-traveling alien
Yeah.
potentially here to fix something in our past.
It seems that way.
What else can we learn about this visitor from the future?
One of the most striking things it says is that its society has evolved beyond the need for superstition.
Huh, interesting.
Now, that might sound like progress at first,
Yeah.
but think about it. Why do we humans rely on belief systems?
Well, I mean, we crave explanations for things we don't understand. We look for meaning and purpose, especially when we think about our own mortality.
Right.
And those beliefs, whether they're religious or political or even scientific, they kind of bind us together as societies.
Exactly. They provide a framework for understanding the world and our place in it.
Mm-hmm.
But this alien statement raises a big question. If they've really evolved beyond superstition, does that mean they've eliminated all forms of individual belief?
And what would that even look like?
Imagine a society where everyone thinks the same way,
Yeah.
where there's no room for disagreement or questioning.
It's almost like a perfectly efficient ant colony.
Right. But is that what we want for humanity?
I don't know. It's kind of a chilling thought. A world without free will or individual thought,
And it makes you wonder, how do you even achieve that level of conformity?
without some kind of coercion.
Right. It's a bit unsettling.
It is. And it actually ties into the aliens' warning about nuclear war later on.
Oh, how so?
Well, it claims that the conflict will be sparked by what it calls tenets.
Tenets.
And I took that to mean like rigidly held beliefs,
Okay.
both political and religious.
So basically anything that people cling to too tightly.
Yeah, the things that drive people to extremes.
It's a reminder that powerful people can exploit our beliefs
Yeah.
to further their own agendas.
And if those beliefs are strong enough, they can really blind us to reason and even lead to violence.
That's a scary thought.
It is. But what's even more unsettling is the aliens' claim that a single individual
Oh, wow.
will be responsible for starting this war.
One person.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the alien knows this individual's identity,
Okay.
but can't reveal it.
Wait, so it knows but can't say.
Yeah, the name's been redacted, erased from their historical records.
So why would that be?
It's like there are limits to what can be known or changed about the past, maybe to prevent paradoxes or unintended consequences.
Or maybe knowing the name would somehow guarantee the very outcome they're trying to prevent.
It's a mind-bending concept. So the fate of the world rests on the shoulders of this mysterious individual,
Yeah.
and we have no idea who it is.
That's a lot to process.
It really is. especially given how divided our own world feels right now.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, are we all just pawns in some grand cosmic game?
Or do we have the power to change our destiny?
Those are questions for another deep dive, I think.
Probably several.
But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, let's get back to the alien itself.
Okay.
It drops another bombshell.
What's that?
It claims that death
Oh, boy.
is a human-made concept.
Okay, so what does that even mean?
It means what we perceive as individual lives ending is actually just emerging back into the universal life force that permeates everything.
I'm trying to picture that.
It's like individual cells dying and being replaced, but the organism as a whole keeps living.
Okay, I can see that.
Or think of it like a wave in the ocean.
Okay.
The wave seems to have its own distinct form,
Right.
but it's really just part of a larger body of water,
So we're all just temporary expressions of this universal energy.
according to this alien, yeah.
Yeah.
And death is simply a transition back into the source.
That's a pretty mind-bending concept.
It is. It challenges our fear of death in a way.
It does, for sure. And the alien takes it even further. It compares the universe to a computer program with limited memory.
It's like processing power.
Exactly. It suggests that individual lives, with all their memories and experiences,
Yeah.
they take up space in this program.
So death is like hitting the delete key.
In a way, to free up space for new life to emerge.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that. The universe is this giant computer constantly deleting and rewriting itself.
It is a lot to take in. Yeah, it really is a lot to take in. And that makes me think about the whole free will versus determinism debate.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if we're all just programs running in some cosmic computer,
Right.
do we really have any control over our own destinies?
That is a deep philosophical question. We could probably spend an entire deep dive on that.
I think so.
But let's stick with what the alien reveals for now.
Okay.
This idea that the universe is like a computer program seems connected to another radical claim.
You're talking about how the universe began.
Yeah, the origin of the universe.
Okay.
The alien rejects the idea of a creator completely.
Wow.
It says existence is endless.
Existence is endless.
No Big Bang, no divine spark. Just existence.
That goes against our human need to find a beginning.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, we want to cause a grand narrative to explain it all.
Exactly. It's hard to imagine the universe just is.
It is. But it's not totally out there if you look at some of the latest ideas in cosmology.
Okay, how so?
Like the multiverse idea. Our universe is just one of an infinite number, constantly being born and dying.
Yeah.
And that aligns with this endless existence idea.
Okay, so maybe this alien isn't as crazy as it sounds.
Maybe not.
Maybe it just understands reality in a completely different way.
A way that we can barely even grasp.
Which brings us back to that chilling warning about nuclear war.
In the next century for us.
Yeah, basically right now.
Right. If we can't even understand the alien's view of the universe, how can we possibly hope to understand this warning about the future?
It's like trying to explain quantum physics to a dog.
I like that analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe there are clues in this video. Things that we can understand.
Right.
That could help us prevent this catastrophe.
That's the hope.
That's what keeps us coming back to these mysteries, right?
It is. It's the search for meaning, for answers.
Yeah.
Even if those answers are coming from something we don't understand.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's focus on what we do know.
Okay.
The alien blames tenets for this upcoming war.
You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, I think it means rigidly held beliefs.
Okay, both political and religious.
Yeah.
The things we believe to be absolutely true, but that could actually be used against us.
Yeah.
Twisted to justify violence and destruction.
Makes you wonder if a society that's evolved beyond superstition,
like the alien claims.
The alien claims is really better off.
Maybe those deeply held beliefs, as dangerous as they can be, they also give our lives meaning and purpose.
That's a good point. And it brings us back to this individual who's supposed to start the war. If they're driven by tenets, then they must be someone in a position of power.
Someone who can influence a lot of people.
Right. And the fact that the alien knows who it is,
but can't reveal it,
it just adds another layer of complexity.
There are forces at play here that we don't understand.
Forces that can manipulate time, redact history. Maybe even determine our fate.
Almost like we're in the Matrix or something.
I know, right? Makes you wonder if we're all living in a simulation.
That's a popular theory these days.
It is. But let's focus on what we can learn from this video.
Okay.
The alien, despite all its advanced knowledge,
Yeah.
seems genuinely concerned about humanity.
It does.
It traveled across time, probably at great risk to itself.
Right, to try and prevent this catastrophe.
Which suggests maybe we're not totally doomed.
It's a glimmer of hope.
A chance to change course. But how can we do that when we don't even know who the enemy is?
Maybe the answer lies in the aliens' emphasis on evidence and logic.
Okay.
If this war is being driven by blindly held beliefs,
Yeah.
then maybe the solution is to be more reasoned, take a more evidence-based approach to the world.
Like ditch dogma and embrace critical thinking.
Exactly.
Sounds good in theory, but have you met humans?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's the challenge, is that?
We love a good conspiracy theory.
We do.
A comforting narrative, even if it contradicts the facts.
That's true. But if there's one thing we can take away from this video,
What's that?
it's that we need to be more aware of how our beliefs shape our actions.
And how those actions can have consequences.
Exactly. Consequences that can ripple through time.
So be mindful. Be critical. And don't be afraid to question what you think you know.
I think that's good advice for everyone.
It is, but I still feel like we're missing something.
What do you mean?
If this alien is so advanced,
Yeah.
why not just tell us who this dangerous person is?
So we can stop them.
Exactly.
That's the million-dollar question.
It is. The alien says the name was redacted from their historical records.
Right. But why?
Is it to prevent a paradox?
Possibly.
Or is there something more to it that we're just not getting?
It's hard to say.
Maybe it's a test.
A test?
Yeah. Maybe the alien is making us confront our own biases and prejudices.
Interesting.
To make us look inside ourselves for the root of this conflict.
So the answer isn't out there in the universe?
Maybe not.
But within us.
That's a deep thought. It is.
Yeah.
And it connects to another interesting aspect of the alien's claims.
What's that?
If death is really an illusion,
Okay.
and we're all part of this interconnected consciousness, then the idea of one person starting a war becomes even more confusing.
Right. Because if we're all connected, the
Yeah.
lines between individual actions become blurred.
So you're saying this individual might not be one person,
Exactly.
but a manifestation of a collective mindset.
A shared belief system that's become toxic.
Maybe the alien is trying to tell us that we're all responsible.
Responsible for the choices we make.
Both individually and collectively.
Exactly.
Okay, that's getting a little too self-help guru for me.
I
Can
understand.
we bring this back down to earth? Literally, the alien seems fixated on this nuclear war.
It does.
Why is that the defining event of our future?
What about climate change?
Yeah, pandemics, AI.
It's a long list.
It is.
Maybe from the aliens' perspective,
Yeah.
nuclear war is a tipping point
A catastrophic event.
that leads to irreversible self-destruction for humanity.
A point of no return.
Exactly.
And maybe it's not just the physical destruction, but
Yeah.
the psychological impact, too.
A war like that would shatter our sense of security, our
Mhm.
faith in progress.
Our belief in ourselves, even.
It would be a trauma that would echo through generations.
Shaping human history for centuries.
Exactly.
Which brings us back to repairing the spatial divergence.
Right.
If the alien is here to fix something in our past,
Yeah.
maybe it's not about preventing the war itself,
Okay.
but mitigating the long-term impact.
So nudging humanity onto a different path.
Yeah, one where we learn from our mistakes.
And build a better future.
That's a hopeful thought.
It is.
It fits with the alien's concern for us. It's also incredibly humbling.
To think that a being from the future
So advanced it can manipulate time and space.
is still invested in us.
Yeah. It makes you wonder what we as a species could become.
It does. And it reminds us that even with huge challenges,
Yeah.
there's always hope.
Hope for a better future.
Yeah.
Hope that we can learn from our past. And maybe even hope that we can evolve beyond our current limits.
As individuals and as a species.
That's a powerful message to take away from this deep dive.
It is. And maybe that's the real purpose of this video.
You think so?
Whether it's genuine or a hoax,
Right.
it's a wake-up call. It challenges us to confront our beliefs and biases.
And strive for something better.
Exactly. A more enlightened future.
Okay, so what happens next?
What do you mean?
How do we move forward with this new awareness?
That's a question for each of us to think about.
So no easy answers.
The answers, as always, lie within.
It really makes you wonder what's out there, you know? What secrets are we still missing?
Definitely. And this whole thing about death,
Oh, yeah.
that really got to me, too.
Yeah,
This idea that it's not the end.
right.
It's like merging back into some universal life force. It's both scary and kind of comforting at the same time.
It is. It really challenges that fear we have,
Yeah.
you know, of just oblivion.
Yeah. The alien presents this view where our individual consciousness is temporary, but it's part of something bigger, something that goes on.
It's like we're all drops in this ocean of existence.
Right, and we're always flowing back to the source.
But if that's true, then what's the point of any of it?
What do you mean?
Why bother striving, achieving, creating?
Yeah.
If it all just disappears in the end?
Maybe the meaning isn't in the end point.
Okay.
Maybe it's in the journey itself, the experiences of the connections we make.
The impact we have on the world.
Exactly. Maybe those are the things that matter.
Even if they don't last forever.
Right. It's a humbling thought.
It makes you appreciate every moment.
Yeah.
The beauty of being alive in this crazy universe.
It does, but it also makes that warning about nuclear war even more tragic because we're all connected, part of this one life force.
Right.
Then destroying ourselves is like tearing a hole in existence.
Yeah. It reinforces that idea that we're all responsible for each other.
For the choices we make.
And the future we create.
The aliens' message isn't just about stopping a war. Okay. It's about recognizing that connection and acting on it.
So how do we do that? How do we turn that awareness into action?
That's a big question. Maybe it starts with questioning our own assumptions. Okay. Examining our beliefs. Challenging the things that divide us.
The alien kind of forces us to do that.
It does. By presenting such a radical viewpoint, it makes us step outside our normal way of thinking.
Yeah. To consider possibilities we never thought of before.
It's like holding up a mirror to humanity.
Showing us the good and the bad.
Exactly. Our potential and our capacity for self-destruction.
But there's hope in there too, right?
There is a suggestion that we can choose a different path.
One that leads to a better future.
And that choice starts with each of us.
So it's not about waiting for someone to save us.
No. Not relying on technology to fix everything.
It's about realizing we have the power.
To create a better world.
That's a powerful idea. The alien's message is a call to action.
It is an invitation to be part of humanity's evolution.
It's not about despair or giving up.
No.
It's about taking responsibility.
It's about empowerment.
And that might be the biggest lesson we take away from this deep dive.
I think so. This exploration of the universe.
And our place in it.
Exactly.
Well, that's it, folks. A leaked alien interrogation video, time travel, mind-bending claims about life and death in the universe.
Wow.
It's been quite a journey.
It has.
But even if you think it's all a hoax, it's made us think differently about the world.
It has. And I think that's what these mysteries do. They push us to expand our understanding.
And search for something more. Well said. On that note, we'll leave you to ponder the mysteries of the universe and the possibilities that lie ahead.
Sounds good.
Until next time. Keep looking up, keep questioning, and keep seeking knowledge.